Hi guys. My name is Grace. This is my first time doing something like this. So obviously if you have any comments, suggestions, things that you like or didn't like, just put it down in the comments. I don't know. This was my most recent race, so this was I think a couple weeks ago. Um, it just was not a good race. I mean, we just struggled a lot with the engine and you'll see it here. I just figured maybe I could like commentate on it and just kind of talk a bit to just make it more interesting. I don't know. I mean, if you guys just wanted just the regular video, just let me know too. But yeah, so figured I'll just kind of, I don't know, show you guys. For context though, actually, this is um this is a series where if you run a VLR engine, you have the potential of winning a ticket to Rock Vegas, which is my goal for this season. So I'm currently on a VLR. Everyone else, they're on a Miami 100cc engine, aside from one other driver, which we'll see him in the final more. But yeah, we just kind of very last minute decided to run this series. We had a rock engine kind of like back of the shop. It's been sitting there for like a year and a half. So we just kind of pull it out and we were like, we'll just try it. Definitely a little different from the KA. So we did struggle a lot. I mainly struggled just trying to get the hang of it, trying to find gearing. The chassis as well. It's an S19 Burrell Art chassis. My first time on it, so also kind of figuring out that and the differences from it compared to the S18. So yeah, there was just a lot of learning this week, like this race weekend, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, this is pre-final. I'm pretty sure we're starting like 19th out of 20th. We're basically last, so yeah, I'll play the video, I promise. Qualifying, engine flooded. We were just all trying to work on it. The engine just did not come alive at all during qualifying. We ended up realizing afterwards, after qualifying, I kind of noticed that the needles had moved a lot. So I'm wondering if maybe that kind of may have affected it. So we ended up taping the needles for the pre-final, which ends up not being a good idea because I needed to kind of add more fuel and I couldn't. That's just life. I don't know. This is the start. As you can see, we got passed right off the bat. So yeah, definitely a rough way to start. We are good through the corners. It's just kind of all the straight line speeds. I think here I get past. Oh, maybe not. That probably wasn't the wisest decision. I lost a lot coming out the corner and then with the engine. Yeah. A little bit of carnage there. Left tap. I don't know. I mean, it was definitely frustrating. Obviously, we're fairly quick or okay through the corners. It was just a lot coming out of the corners. So, like here, you can see right there, like that middle part, how it would just, almost like a yo-yo effect is what it felt like. So I felt very rushed the entire pre-final. So you can kind of see it just in the way that I'm driving. I feel like I was very rushed. So yeah, not the greatest, and like I said, pretty boring. There wasn't too many passes. Definitely not where I would have liked to have finished or how I would have liked the race to go, but sometimes that's just racing, and you just kind of take whatever you can in those lessons and go from there. I do want to, another left tap, just give a shout out quickly to Simpson Racing Products for just providing those gloves that I'm wearing right now, as well as a practice suit that I wore the day prior to the main. Definitely comfortable if you guys are looking for like affordable. I'm from California, so something that's like local, from like SoCal. Definitely check them out. Their products super comfortable, definitely nice. So yeah, I don't know. We're just going. Yeah, I definitely like that's insane. That's insane. I don't know. I'm pretty sure my gearing was off too. Like I said, I've never ran the VLR before. So it was just guessing game on gearing, and then obviously the chassis as well. I did a lot of guessing on kind of like how I wanted to set it up. It's kind of hard to see here. Yes, no. But the seat I have in it right now is a Freeline, and I ended up switching it to a Tillet seat for the main, and that's like the biggest Kart change, chassis change, setup change I've ever done, just ever in like my entire racing career, which is really cool. But I mean, I figured, I want to race national. I want to race kind of with like all those crazy drivers. I don't know, just drivers that you see and you're like, wow, that's so cool. So I've just definitely been learning and practicing, kind of knowing what I'm feeling and what I want adjusted, what I want changed. So obviously at this point, I'm struggling with the engine. I'm overdriving, which is something that I have to work on my end. But I'm also paying attention to how the kart's feeling, how the tire pressures feel, and kind of what I want to change, what I don't want to change. So I was just kind of feeling the front end, the rear end, which then led me to make those big changes for the main event. So yeah, that was like pretty cool. Definitely like a good key takeaway, just takeaway, I don't know, too, like from this weekend. So yeah, I'll go ahead and skip a little bit just because this is kind of very redundant. I don't know, just back and forth, getting up to them in the corners, and then that gap down the strip. So we'll see. I think I do end up passing the 426 driver. So I want to say driver made the mistake. I don't know if he looked back or not. No. But obviously I saw he made a mistake. I was kind of, okay, goal, maybe try to pass him. So I kind of put a good lap together. He was making a few mistakes, which just kind of helped me get close to his bumper like that. So I want to say on this next go around, we end up passing him. I'm just not entirely sure where. Probably in the midfield, midsection. Yeah. I think right here in this corner, he ends up going a little too wide. So we end up just able to kind of get alongside and just play that like beat you to the breaking point type thing. Obviously that slide there did not help me, but I think he messed up that corner too because he was kind of far back when I looked. So yeah, I think from here I just kind of accepted that that was all I was going to get from this race, and passing one person is better than none. So yeah, I think, what is this, 2 to go? Yeah, I think at this point I was just kind of like a little like not so much upset, just kind of like understanding that I'm at a disadvantage. Like I'm pretty sure the slowest engine out there as well as oldest, so I just kind of had to just take that, just do what I can do. There were a lot of drivers that did either get taken out or just retired, DNF'd. So that did, help us kind of-ish point-wise. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, there was only one other driver who was running a VLR, and for that whole Ticket to Rock thing, I just kind of essentially had to just beat him for this race. So my main goal for the main just became, okay, well, let's see if we can try to get to him and see if we can beat him. Because I also went into this race pretty much with the expectation or the goal of, or I don't know if is that even the right word? I basically went in there just with like, if I don't beat everyone that's on a VLR that enters into the like race or whatever, then I'm not doing the series. Like, so this was just one of those um like if I do well, it's meant to be let's run the series, and then if not, I'll go back to my original goal, which was kind of racing SKUs and some of the bigger things. So yeah, we finished 15th. That was just thanks to DNFs, DQs, and then the one pass that we made. Um, but yeah, so we did the changes, and yeah, so now we're going into the final. I don't know if you guys can see turns. So not the cart in front of me, the one in front of 432. That's Eric. He's pretty cool. He is also on a VLR, so he became the competition of like, okay, this is the driver that I need to beat. We kind of like we taped the needles earlier, right? Which then led me to not adjust them. So for the final, we put zip ties, like a zip tie on instead. So I would adjust it if needed, and they wouldn't move on me. So yeah, and then I had a few more drivers behind me, so I was kind of getting pushed from the back. So it definitely helped get a better start. Obviously, we still lost in the straight, but we're there. I mean, it's a lot better than the pre-final. Kind of stood on the inside-ish for these ones. So we made a few passes, kind of in the midsection, but of course, there's only so much you can do when you're a little under horsepower. So also, I left that open, so that's kind of on me. But I kind of knew too, though, that I wouldn't be able to compete with like the engine power-wise. So I wasn't really as aggressive either with the KAs. And like I said, my main goal was just to beat the other VLR driver out there. And he's like within eyesight. So I was like, you know what, I have a good shot. You can kind of see here, like I'm moving my hand down, just to add more fuel to the engine. So just to kind of get it a bit more punchier, coming out. And I'm like, it kind of works. The seat change obviously worked too, and then we did a few other setup changes. So the cart definitely handled a bit better. Played with like the tire pressure. I forget if I did or didn't change the gear. I don't know. I just remember doing a bunch of changes, and I was like, you know what? This is good practice. So yeah. And then obviously the drivers kind of battling a bit in front helped me kind of stay in the game too. So yeah, that was good. That was fun. Yeah, I'm just kind of messing with the engine at this point, but I think we got it fairly good. But like I said, like that sort of driving that's happening in front's helping me kind of stay in it. So yeah, let's see. Here I get pushed out a little bit, so I kind of did that correction. I don't know if you can see. We were getting fairly close to the dirt there. So I just had to let the other driver know, hey, I'm here. But I mean, I was like, I'm not going to defend this coming out through here because I know I'm down on power. So I just kind of accepted, okay, you know, we're good through the corners. It's just the straights struggled a bit. Yeah, definitely brought out my strengths and weaknesses. Like that, for instance, like slides like that, I feel like those pro drivers don't do, or it's very minimal. So this is definitely good practice for me of like driving close to perfect or just being perfect or whatever. As perfect as I can be. Especially with the VLR, it's like one of those, like if you drive good, the engine kind of is better. That goes for anything really, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I am driving a little better this race, like the main, compared to the pre-final. Just kind of like, I don't know, you can kind of notice like with my feet, how I get on and off the gas, as well as the brake on and off. And I like also just trying to be more better at like pushing on the wheel, foot stops, things like that. So you can kind of see going into even turn one, hitting the brakes firm, that slow release, slow get back onto throttle, and it just kind of helped just the weight transfer, the RPM just kind of pick up a bit smoother. So yeah, we do start catching the pack in front of us. So I can just go ahead and skip to that. Okay, so at this point, we have caught up to the driver, Eric, which is like our goal, right? So now I'm definitely pushing hard, as you can see, just trying to get him. He's kind of in the same predicament that I'm in, where it's like we're both good through the corners, and then we get to the straights, and we lose a bit on that compared to the KA motors. So a lot of it was just kind of like run the corners as good as we can, and just see how much we can keep up on the straights. So yeah, the two KA drivers in front of us, as you can see, like, were kind of slowing us down. Here I kind of like went to catch up. Here you can kind of see, kind of not. The driver behind the comp kart driver bumped him too hard, he didn't have a good control of his cart, so he kind of went sideways, caused Eric to check up, and I ended up giving him like a pretty good love tap. We talked about it though, we're all good, but that is kind of what helped me get in front of him. So from there, I was like, okay, goal semi-completed, because now I just have to like stick to it. So I tried using the two drivers in front as like bunnies. So just focused on them, obviously focus forward, not backwards. And I did that for pretty much the entire race up until 2 laps to go. Yeah, so we just pretty much kept the same pace the entire race. I think Eric stood like half a cart to a cart behind me the entire time, because I would hear his engine. But the biggest thing for me was just kind of like focusing ahead and not getting like anxious or anything about Eric behind, which actually did end up happening. Like the last 2 laps to go, I was like looking back and I was like, okay, crap, he's like right there, like I cannot mess up, which obviously then led to me overdriving and messing up. But it led to like a fairly fun like last lap battle. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this race is kind of boring. I couldn't do much, like catch up in the corners, we'd get to the straight, we would lose a little bit. So it was tough. The good thing though, or cool thing is, one, knowing that we were good, strong through the corners. So then the only other thing was just, finding an engine, or rebuilding, obviously, our 1-year-old engine. And we did find an engine builder who was kind of willing to help out. So that would for sure help for the rest of the season. So I am excited to see how round 2 would be. It's the same track. I'm not sure if they're going to change up, if we're going to go counterclockwise instead of clockwise. This is Willow Springs. I think it's only just the one layout anyway, so you can really just do counter or just clockwise. So we'll see. But I want to say that race is, I don't know, in a few weeks. So, yeah. Okay, so we are getting 2 laps to go. This is where I look back and I kind of started freaking out a bit, because I was like, he's really close. Like, I just kind of need to hold on for 2 more laps. I then started making a lot of mistakes because now I'm kind of overdriving. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, like I had a goal, so I was like, I have to keep this. But I was scared. Like, I was just really nervous. Like, I just did not want Eric to pass me. So I was like, oh, come on, like, we're almost there. Which again is something that I can work on. I think had I just kind of stood focused on like just looking forward and just driving my line and not focusing on other drivers, probably would have been a lot easier. But as you can see, white flag to go, I did the complete opposite. I kept looking back. I would like kind of semi-block Um, and of course, like, just rushing through the corners led me to not come out as strong. Like that, for instance. um, yeah, so, um, yeah, this one was lost a lot through here, just that little slide. Um, had to send it in a bit deep through here, but we made it in cleanly. Kept it in pinched because I had a feeling he would do a crossover. So just kept it in. Tried doing this smooth, but I did have right there a bit of a slide. I turned in too early, so slide, which kind of killed any shot I would have of like good RPMs coming up through here. But we just barely made it like 1,000ths of a second, I think it was, like when we crossed the finish line. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. I definitely talk a lot, but if you guys had any like questions or comments, whatever, definitely put them down. Even if it's just two of you watching, like that's so cool. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I did want to also just kind of give a shout out and thank you to Proper for Motorsports, just for providing the chassis and obviously like just the continuous support throughout the weekend. Shout out to our two other senior drivers because they did exceptionally well for their debut races here, as well as kind of like KA100 senior racing. Um, and then, of course, Team King Competition. Um, they're just kind of a program that helps just kind of build off of your brand, and you're like a grow together sort of deal or program going on. So, if you guys wanted to kind of learn more about my racing or kind of like my future racing, whether it be in cars or wherever, um, and just kind of like other drivers that come from like grassroots, building from the top, maybe don't come from like, crazy rich parents or are fairly new to the scene, kind of like I am. Check out their website. I'll have the link below. And you can also view like my vlogs. Blogs are there, articles, and yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I hoped you enjoyed. Have a, well, for me, a good night. But yeah, God bless. Bye.